If it's good enough for Billy Joel and Jimmy Fallon, then it's good enough for us. It's the Loopy HD, the program they use. We're also going to show off the Blue Nessie microphone with this on iPad 365. Hey everybody, Jeffrey Powers here. Welcome to iPad 365, the show where we look at apps to keep your iPad at play. We're looking at two things. We're looking at an app, and of course we're looking at a product here in the Blue Nessie from Blue Microphones, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But first of all, hey, the Twitter handle is iPad365. Of course, the email is show@ipad-365.com. Show@ipad-365.com. If you've got an app that you want to show off or a program or something like that, we can take a look at it and go from there. All right, well, you might have seen this app if you were watching The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon last week. As Billy Joel was on the show, they did some looping to create a song. Actually, this song was The Lion Sleeps Tonight, which is a very popular song. And it's really easy to loop because you don't have too many key changes. In fact, the backgrounds are just the whoa, that part right there. And so it was easy for them to create a loop and, of course, sing it from there. And you can check that out. We'll link to that video right here. So if you haven't seen it for some strange reason, then you can. The program that they used was called Loopy HD. Now, Loopy HD is an application that lets you loop different things. In fact, the background music you're hearing right now is a loop that I've already created. Now, I'm going to tell you something. This app takes a little bit of a learning curve to get used to and understand, because I thought I could create just one whole 4x4 measure of a tone and then repeat it and then repeat it. But there's a part where it actually does this freeform, so you can actually sing a whole song with one and then go and sing another song and another part to that whole song and then another part to that whole song, so on and so forth. So here's how it works. Let's stop this. So basically I'm gonna mute all these channels here, and then we're gonna go back to we'll go to the pause button. So basically, I'm going to create a new session, and the way that I have this running with the reflector, there's that latency, so I won't be able to actually record something perfectly. Right now, I have the microphone off, so it doesn't annoy me. I'm going to put an earphone in so I can hear what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to create a new session. We'll reset the session, and now we're actually in freeform mode. So if I hit this button, it's going to do a count off, and then it's just going to go till the end of time. Right now I have the microphone, the Blue Nessie muted right now. I can flip over to the clock, and I can actually say what type of metronome I want through my ears. Do I want an actual metronome sound, or do I want a light? So it'll actually pulse a light as we go. I go back here and I'm going to hit the tap button to figure out my tempo. Once I hit the tap button, then I'll have a measure to do something. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, just like that. And as you can hear in the program, it's actually starting to. It makes a little drum sound as the metronome goes from there. So I'm going to put my other ear in here. I'm going to turn on the microphone so you might hear a little bit of a echo. Like that. So when I go into the first one, you'll hear, I'm just going to do a straight tone. Do like that. And then I'm going to do it again. So this is how it works. Do. And I made a small mistake there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear that out, but simply by swiping one way and choose the clear option. So I wasn't ready for it. I want to have that full tone, so I'm going to have to start before the 4 count. So we'll go something like this. Do. And there you go. It's just a straight tone. So the second one I'm going to do like that. So watch this. Do. It gets a little bit annoying, but what I can do here is, for a lot of these, I can actually mute them out right here. So I'm going to do that right here. If I double if I hold down on the button, I can actually choose the volume and pan. So let's bring the volume down on all of these. Let's say by about 6 dB. And then I turn it on, it's a little bit softer. And then of course I'm gonna choose the pan to go a little bit to the right. So now I'm over on the right as opposed to left. I can do the same thing for this one. I can go over here and I can say volume. I'm gonna bring it down to about 6 dB. That might, this one might have a little bit too much volume. Well, let's bring it down even more. So now we've got a more even out, and then of course I really didn't do that and of course I really didn't go through all the notes just roughly to do that. So I'm gonna clear this out right now. You can also bring in channels, so I can go in here and I can say, okay, I want to import a recording. I can do the recording I import, or I can create a session, or I can reset the session. All right, so now what I can also do is I can import a session. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold down this button, and that's the middle of the first dial, and I can say share, import, volume, and pan. So I'm going to say import, and I've got the tracks I can import, or I can actually bring in some drums. So we've got some drums in here, and I can import a dub bass, and that brings in the dub bass here. So I can create a background sound for what I record next. So I can go like this. And of course it's not going to be perfect because of the latency I have to hear through. So basically I can import tracks and then I can create off of them and go from there. So basically I can import all the tracks and then record my own and go from there. The name of the app once again is called Loopy HD. It's by a Tasty Pixel. And you can do a lot more. You can do, of course, you can share these files and bring them into the other apps. It's called Loopy HD by a Tasty Pixel. It's $7.99 in the App Store. If you want it just for the iPhone, it's $2.99. But with the Loopy HD, what it does is it lets you put it on your iPad and your iPhone and any other devices, so you can work back and forth with that and get some great loops going there. All right, during this whole week, I've been recording using this little device right here. It's the Blue Microphone Nessie. It's their latest line of microphones from Blue Microphone. Of course, as you know, I got a Snowball up there, and I have an Eyeball around here, which is another Blue microphone. I'm a big fan of Blue microphones. I like their sound, and I definitely like this Nessie here. There are some downfalls to this, and let's just go over it really quick. This is perfect for the podcaster, the musician, or anybody else. If you want to record off of your Mac, if you want to record off of your iPad, if you want to record off of another program, just like that. All right, so the Blue Microphone Nessie is a USB-enabled microphone. Of course, you have the USB back here, and the USB port can work into your Mac. Of course, you can then plug it using the lightning cable and plug it into your iPad and use it with programs such as Boss Jock, such as Loopy HD and GarageBand and other stuff. It's meant for not only vocals and podcasts, but also for music work like guitars. So there's 3 switches in the back. The far one has a little music note. That's for any type of musical instrument, like if you're playing guitar. In the middle is the vocal version. It sets it up for vocals for podcasting or singing. And then, of course, a raw mode, which means that they've turned off all the little bells and whistles. So if you were whatever you're recording, it'll just record or bring it in raw. Now, this is not, first of all, when you set it down, the first thing you might think of is, God, this is so short. I might have to talk like this. But the thing about this microphone, it's never meant to be directly sung and spoken or sung into. In fact, the best way that you set the Blue microphone up is right here. So your voice captures in an area rather than directly on. In fact, if you bring it up to your mouth, you're going to get what's called plosives, B's and P's popping. So what you really want to do is you want to have it at a good distance away from you, and of course set up to the vocal mode or raw mode, however you want to do it. and then you can talk from there. There's a button on the front. There's actually two things here. One's the volume control, because there is a headphone jack in the back of the Nessie, and then the sensitive touch on-off button with the microphone. Now, at first, I thought this was going to be a downfall because it's not a push button. So you could tap it, and basically it mutes it, and then of course the bass will pulsate. And I'll show you this, and I'll just hook this up so I can show you how that worked. But the whole idea is, I thought at first that I would touch it at times and then find that it would turn itself on. And that's not the case. It's actually done very well with that, and so I haven't had to worry about that part too much. So basically I'm going to plug this in, and of course it's going to recognize it, and then it will start to light up on the bass here. And then when I hit the mute on the microphone, that bass is actually going to pulse. The light's going to pulse on and off. So, and then when I unmute it, it'll be a solid light. You can swipe to mute it, you can touch to mute it, or anything like that. The other thing is the volume, which is on the bass. You turn it up and down from here. So that's for the headphone jack, and you can go from there. The top of the Nessie is fully adjustable. You can adjust it up. You can bring it up to the bass part head and hold it just like the clef sign it looks like. And then of course if you need to bring it down for an instrument, bring it up for an instrument, or whatever. Like I said, it's not directly meant to be talked into. You got to put it on the side. Some downfalls, yeah, even though the stand is adjustable, it's only one position. So if you don't have a table height, right, you're going to have to find like a box to actually put it at least to an area where you can talk and it will hear you. The other thing, of course, like I said, it's not meant to be talked like this. It's meant to be like this. But a lot of people, they just kind of seem to want to lean towards the microphone wherever it is. So if you can sit like this and be able to talk, then this microphone is perfect for you. And of course, you can hear some samples. Like I said, all last week on Geek Smack, on This Week in Google Glass, I used the Nessie microphone for the recordings to show you the power of the Nessie microphone, and you can check that out there. The coolest thing about the Blue Mic Nessie is that it's now hit that sub $100 point. It's about $99.99 to get just the Nessie and go from there. But it's perfect for a first-time podcaster. It's perfect for somebody that just wants to record their guitar part and their vocals, just to get some demos up onto the web and go from there. And I recorded a couple songs as well from here, and I do like how it actually ended up recording. You can bring it into any program, music program, podcast program, GarageBand, Adobe Audition, or Boss Jock, or any of those programs, and use this microphone for whatever your needs are. Once again, it's called the Blue Mic Nessie, and you can get it now. We'll have a link in the show notes of where you can get it for the best price. And that does it for this episode of iPad 365. What'd you think of Loopy HD? What'd you think of the Blue Nessie? Do you have a Blue microphone, a Blue Nessie? Do you have Loopy HD? Are you starting to do line sleeps tonight and have some fun with it? Maybe do some YouTube viral videos or something like that. Let me know. You can Twitter me over at iPad365. Of course, the email address is show@ipad-365.com. iPad-365.com. All right, we will be back next week with another app that I'll review. And until then, you guys geek out and take care.